Here's what I've got so far. I'm just coping. I'm coping because I'm broke. Hey, look at that. Perfect. But look at that. I slammed my thumb in the back door. What's up, everybody? My name is Jaden. I'm currently converting a 40-foot school bus to be my full-time off-grid home. Documenting the entire thing here on this YouTube channel, so if you like that kind of thing, make sure to subscribe so you can keep up with all the progress from the very beginning of the build to the very end and eventually getting to live in this thing. In this video, I'm going to go over a little bit of light topic, as it were, putting together some window trim. Now, I'll show you a little before picture of these guys, but they aren't pretty before all this window trim. Now, here's a little before action on the window boxes, and this is actually one of the window boxes I cut out the cleanest, and it's still nothing really pretty to look at. You've got like the seam tape from when I was doing my installation and my vapor barrier. You've got like this ugly trim ring, which you can still see after the finished window trim, but you got this nasty looking wood. The cuts aren't straight, and this is really thin, so you can't really put a drink or a plant or any knickknacks or anything like that on these. So definitely wanting to get some nice window trim in here, and that's what I've been doing. So let me just rewind the clock here and take you back to when I started on one of these windows. I can't even remember which one I started on. So I'm going to start with this window right here. You can see I already have one piece up here. The tricky part about how I cut my windows is they're not fully square and they're not fully straight cuts. I mean, there are plenty of like defects in the cuts as you go along, which is fine because they're going to be covered up by the trim. That's like the whole point. But the tricky part is going to be shimming these pieces, these trim pieces, to be level or square. That's going to be the tricky part. I don't think it should be too much of an issue. I think it should look pretty nice. Now, the material that I'm using is just this pine. It's the same pine that I used for the face frame on the couch, which if you haven't seen that video, go check it out. I show you how I built this sweet pull-out sleeper couch with a ton of understorage. But yeah, I'm just using regular pine. I know it's a soft wood and I know it, tends to scratch and dent pretty easily, but I mean, it was either spend $18 on an 8-footer of 1x6 or spend upwards of $70 or $80 on an 8-footer for like a hardwood, like a maple or an oak. I originally wanted to do maple, but I started doing the math on the pricing and it's too expensive to justify. So I'm gonna go ahead and go with this pine. I'll finish it up real nice, do some kind of stain or paint or whatever to it. And if it gets dented along the way, which I'm sure it will, that's just life, man. It's not that deep. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue cracking away at this and see what I can come up with. Yeah, I think 3 inches is gonna be the move. So this is 3 inches deep. You can see it comes out a little bit, just enough to be, wide enough to set things on without worrying about them, falling off or be hanging off the edge, but not too wide to where I couldn't, lean back on the couch. You know what I mean? All right, so I got my interior box made here and I think it looks good. It's not perfect, but it's square and level enough. I'm just using this little bubble level that's like, I don't know, 360 degree or whatever. This is what I use to make sure that all of my brackets on the roof for my solar mounting rails were in line and on like the right, like 90-degree mark, basically. If you're curious about how I used it for that purpose, go check out this video right here. But yeah, so with this made, I'm essentially going to get some more trim pieces, not this exact one, but something similar, and come along and line it up with the inside edge of the interior box and essentially just just like this, and tack it together, make sure that hopefully all of these lines are, you know, in line with one another. In retrospect, maybe I should have built the whole thing before inserting it to make sure that I could get all these, you know, lines perfectly together, but you know, I guess that's what wood filler's for, you know what I mean? One nice thing about getting this cheap pine and not that expensive oak or maple or poplar or whatever is that I can mess up and I don't feel too bummed about it. I'm hungry. I'm losing brain power, and things aren't quite lining up as I anticipated on this here windowsill. So I'm gonna go get some food, return tomorrow or the next day or whenever with a full belly and a positive mental attitude. See you then. I don't know, man. I'm not really going off of any like plans at all. I'm just kind of putting some trim on there to cover up my rough cuts and, you know, seeing what looks good. And I actually think this design, it's really simple, but I think it's going to be really, really nice when it's all said and done. So here's what I've got so far. Basically, I've just got this pine. I've got 1x3s going along the edges here. I have 1x3s that are trimmed to about 2 3/8 of an inch on the interior here as well. And you can see like there's obviously some gaps and everything because my cuts aren't perfectly straight, but I've got wood filler and I'll recut a few pieces. And then on the bottom here, this like sill portion, this is a 1x4. That's actually, you know, 1x3.5 inches really. So it's a little bit wider, and I wanted that for being able to like set things on like a drink or a plant or something like that. And for this little like, you know, lip out kind of look. I don't really know what the style is called, and you can see here too, I actually cut it about 1/4 inch too short, so I'll have to recut this bottom plate as well. Thankfully, I'm doing cheap pine wood. And then I've got this bottom plate underneath the sill as well. And I don't know, man, like it's super simple and it's probably missing some key components. I know there are a lot of windowsills that have kind of like they have some kind of like top plate right underneath this top plate that kind of goes, it's kind of like a mirror of this, but it's on top. I didn't see a point in doing any of that, honestly. Maybe there's a purpose that I don't know, but yeah, it's just super easy to do for me, and I really actually do like the look of it. Not entirely sure how I'm going to finish the pine, if I'm going to paint it, stain it. I tried to put a little tung oil on it to see if it would, like, I don't know, work with the walls, and it doesn't really make all that much of a difference with this pine wood. This is just one coat though, so maybe another coat or two would do, but I think honestly I'll probably just find a stain that I like or paint it maybe to match like the paint that I'll do on the couch, or I don't know, but that's down the road. I like this design though. It's super easy to do, so this is what I'm going to stick with. I'm going to, like I said, recut a few of these, perfect it for this window, and then kind of just move on down the line. I'm going to do the same design concept for all of my windows. So yeah, I've got this window basically done, then I've just got the other 7 windows, so let's get to it. So really no part of this process that I'm going through to make these is like smooth or efficient. I'm essentially just getting a top plate set in there because the top plate is the way I have this all like configured. The top plate here on the interior is the only one that I'm not needing other points for like a reference measurement. So I'm making that first to go along the top here, make it a nice snug fit, shim it up to where it's pretty much as close to level as I can really get it, and then go from there on the sides, and then get the bottom sill plate put into place basically. None of this is square, or, well, I won't say it's not close to square. It's close. It's close to square, it's close to level, but none of it's, you know, perfectly level or square like you would find in a house necessarily. But I mean, that was kind of the assumption going into this whole thing, is like, okay, we're in a bus, like nothing's gonna be perfectly level, perfectly square, just no matter how hard I try, especially me with not having any experience with any of this. So I am pretty happy getting it to about level. For your reference here, this is how close I have it to being level right here on this one windowsill. You know, it's not too terribly bad, especially considering, you know, how the window was cut originally, how I guess cattywampus it was when I first put it in. It definitely was not square, not even close. That's the real tricky part, because you can see, like with this window box that I'm making now, it's shimmed up a lot more on this side than it is on this side. This side's pretty much flush up with the actual window box itself, whereas here we've got probably close to a ½ an inch of a gap. So, you know, just gotta shim it up and make it work. Okay, so let me get this drilled in here. Three, and it'd be so nice if my skills were better than they are, so I wouldn't have to like do all this weird stuff and everything was already just perfectly square, but you know, can't win them all. Can't have everything. Piece cut here, 28¼ inches. That's looking like it's gonna be perfect. So we'll cut these little corner pieces out with my jigsaw, and then we'll see if this is a good fit. So here's our sill piece. See if we got a fit. Yeah, there we go. That'll be good. And then shim that up on this side. And there we go. So now when I put my little side pieces in, should line up perfectly with the edge like this. We'll go two 23½ inch pieces for these supports, and then we'll do another 28¼ for the top. It always takes so much more material to make these kind of things than I think it does. Like looking at these, you're like, oh, okay, that's not that much. I mean, this is two 8-foot 1x4s, or maybe even a little bit more, maybe like 2.5. Basically, each of these window sills, window boxes, trims, whatever you want to call it, costs like $30 to $40. But it could be way worse if you're using like hardwoods. Could be way more expensive. Plus, I'm probably not doing this the most efficient way. I can guarantee you that. So, whatever. Whatever. Money's just money, man. We're just here. We're all gonna cease to exist in this realm at some point. So, why trip about money? I'm just coping. I'm coping because I'm broke. I'll probably be pre-drilling these so I don't split the wood, but can't be bothered. And it looks like my measurements were not great on that bottom sill, unfortunately. Well, that's all right. That's all right. We can trim it up. Doesn't need to be absolutely perfect. Whatever. Whatever. I'm actually going to line it up with this edge and then just come back and either sand down or use a router bit on this edge to line it up. That's probably the move, low key. We'll see how that works. I did it the opposite way on the first window, so we'll see which way I like better. Hate when a screw just like loses its pull on what you're screwing into and kind of just starts spinning. Pull out my secret technique now. Drill slightly to the side. Nope, okay, well, that's unfortunate for sure. You look like you want to split. I ain't gonna let you. Probably gonna get like a mile down the road when I start driving this thing, and then all these are gonna split because of the movement. That would suck. Yeah, 28¼ just under. And I'll do the same for this guy, but I'm gonna, well, no, I'm not gonna trim anything down. I'm gonna keep it like that. So yeah, two 28¼ inch pieces coming up. Hey, look at that, perfect. Just screw it in here, Dan. Hope I don't have any swass. It's like 1,000,000 degrees in here. One in. All right, window number 2. Let's check the levelocity. Levelitude. Not great, but not bad. It'll do. That'll do. And I mean, if you're coming in here, oh good, I'm recording. Now, if you're coming in here, sorry about this knob that's in your view. If you're coming in here and you're, you know, standing here and you're looking at these windows, I don't know, man. Maybe y'all have good eyes. This is a fisheye lens, but tell me you can tell at a glance, or just even standing here looking at them, can you even tell that they're not perfectly square? Not really. I mean, if I look and if I look and stare at this one long enough, I can kind of see, and it's probably just because this one's overlapping and I need to like sand it down or get a router and route it down, but I'm looking at this and I really can't see if it's, I can't tell that it's not level, you know what I mean? I think that's good. And it's so nice because I'll demonstrate with my drink of choice, Ghost sour green apple Warhead. This is warmed up to approximately 150 degrees because that's how hot it is in the bus. So no condensation. We're good. I don't need a coaster. But look at that. That right there is probably very underestimated unless you're, you know, I'll show you the difference here. Look, okay, so let me turn you around here. Show you on a window that's not been complete yet. Ugh. This window hasn't been complete yet. And while I can still set my drink here, it's leaning. I don't know if you can tell, but it's leaning and it's still slightly hanging off here. So there would be no chance for me to put, you know, plants or little tchotchkes, knickknacks, paddywhacks, or whatever else on these windowsills. I'd like to, at least in the kitchen, devise some kind of thing, whether it be Velcro, magnets, screwed down, whatever, that I can have plants sitting on my windowsill all the time, even when I'm driving. I think this is going to be a really nice addition and might be underrated for some of you, but I don't know. I'm digging it, man. I'm digging it. 2 down, 6 to go. Each one of these is taking me like an hour because I'm really slow. Let's keep at it. Check this out. I'll do a little snap. This one looks kind of weird because it's like thinner here, significantly thinner, but I think it looks good still. It's just a freaking windowsill guy. So 3 windows done, 5 windows to go. And I think I'm gonna call it on this video right here, and here's why. It's getting kind of late. I have a work thing I gotta do tomorrow, Sunday. That'll be fun. And then I'm gonna be out of town for like the next week and a half or so, traveling for a work conference, Mother's Day weekend, don't forget it. And then just, you know, hang around with the fam after that for a couple more days. So I'm not gonna be able to post a video or do any work from basically this video, which I'll post tomorrow, Sunday, until probably 2 weekends from now. By that point, hopefully I'll have all the window trim done. I'll have my water tanks here as well, so I'll be able to start on getting water tanks mounted, especially like underneath, and getting all the plumbing ran, and then work on the kind of interior plumbing side as well, which I'm super excited about. But with that being said, I will be doing this same kind of design concept for the remaining 5 windows. I've got this window right here. I'll turn you around. I've got this window right here, which is going to be above my oven. I've got those 2 windows, one of which is going to be right above my sink, and then I've got my 2 bedroom windows to take care of in the back. Nothing crazy. So I got these done today, got my system down, got all my materials. Shouldn't take me more than another, you know, couple days to do all the rest of the window trim. So good stuff to come. But yeah, I appreciate you watching this video. Let me know what you guys think of the window trim. I know it's not like the most professional, beautiful, perfect trim that you've ever seen. It's just, you know, pine and in such a way that covers up all my nasty cuts and gives me a nice solid thick windowsill to put things on. So that's really what it was. I wanted it to be useful more than anything. So and I still like how it looks, so let me know what you guys think. Not super expensive for the materials. All in, I think I was a little over 200 bucks for all the lumber, and I mean, I could have gone cheaper too. I could have used common board. This is like the premium pine, premium, air quotes, heavy on the air quotes. So, and if you have any suggestions on how I should ultimately end up painting them, color schemes for the bus, I'm all ears. That's not my wheelhouse. I'm kind of just gonna, you know, figure it out at some point, but any suggestions I would absolutely appreciate. So leave those in the comments if you have any ideas. And if you like this kind of thing and aren't subscribed to the channel already, make sure to do so. I'm doing an entire build series on this channel, going from getting the bus here, ripping out seats, to ultimately living in this thing full-time off-grid. So if you like the kind of thing and want to follow along, make sure to subscribe for sure. And I have a lot of videos on my channel right now going over everything that it's taken to get to this point, including, you know, raising the roof, framing out my bathroom, building an off-grid solar electrical system, mounting solar panels on the roof, building my couch, and a ton more. So make sure to go check out those videos as well if you want to see what it took to get to this point in the build. So that's where I'm going to cut this one. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in the next one. I slammed my thumb in the back door! Ah!